Hey, y'all, Alyece Smith here, and welcome to the Socially Ausome podcast, where we empower mompreneurs to implement simple social media strategies into their businesses and elevate their online presence. I'm a mompreneur of three, an affiliate marketer, a network marketer, an influencer, a social media marketing agency owner, and your personal guru. I am here to give you tips, tricks, and tools that you need to build your social media business. Let's dive in. Hey guys, welcome back to the Socially Ausome channel. Alyece Smith here, and I am excited today to talk to you about 3 simple ways to build your brand's know, like, and trust factor. So you've heard this. If you are in social media marketing at all, even if you just began, you have heard this more than one time. People have to know, like, and trust you. Build that know, like, and trust factor, right? KLT, KLT, KLT. So it's a marketing concept based on the idea that people are more likely to purchase from a brand that they have a relationship with. Because of that relationship, people are familiar with you. So they trust you, they like you, they want to buy from you. People don't give their money away to just anyone. There has to be a connection, okay? Even if it's not a connection to a person, it could be a connection to a pain point, connection to a problem you're going to solve, or because they know, like, and trust you, okay? So it's very important that you work on this. So number 1 is get visible. This is a hard pill to swallow, but you've got to be willing to let people know the real you. I have really thrived on building an authentic brand. And I think that's one of the reasons I've had the success I've had in such a short amount of time is I am not afraid to get on camera. I'm not afraid to get on camera without makeup on. I'm not afraid to show people what is going wrong because it allows them to know, like, and trust me. It allows them to get to know behind the scenes and know that I am not just a filtered, flawless woman on social media, right? There's a whole box here that you need to unpack slowly, okay? So are you afraid? Are you afraid of putting yourself out there? Because I'm telling you, if you're not visible, no one's going to see you. No one's going to know what you have to offer, and you are going to make things harder on yourself, okay? So really be consistent in being authentic. Be open and vulnerable. Vulnerability will always pay off. It is hard. I am not downplaying it. It is very difficult for me to get on social media, put it out there to thousands of people that XYZ went wrong or I messed up. Those are the most vulnerable posts when I have to admit, hey, I was wrong. I made a post a few years ago about not being in network marketing ever again because I just felt like it was like not a place I wanted to be. I didn't like the culture. I didn't like the people. And guess what? I just started a network marketing business in January and I have skyrocketed this time because I was open enough to say, you know what? I messed up. I said I would never do this again. Guess what? I'm doing it again. And being open and vulnerable with people pays off every single time, okay? I have posted pictures of me crying before. Was that the plan? No. But I really try to capture a lot of moments in my life on camera when I'm like, you know what? I'm going to need to see this a year from now. I take a picture. I do. And my husband thinks that it's just like, why, right? He's like, no social media. Doesn't even have the TikTok app. What is wrong with him? But he's like, why did you do that? And I'm like, you know what? A year from now, when I want to look back at this, I will not regret taking this picture because that drives vision for me to see where I came from. So there have been times I took a picture because I was in this moment of despair, or I didn't feel like anything was going right. I didn't feel like I was a good mom. There was a time where I was in super crazy pain with my neck. I took a picture. I was just sitting at my desk, just emotionally crying. You know what? I never intended to post that, but I did anyway. Because one day I had talked to several people in my inbox and they were all telling me about how they had the same neck injury or they were also in pain or how as mothers, we don't put our pain first. And I was like, someone needs to hear this today. Always pays off, okay? So number 2, tap into your brand's values. We're living in a purpose-driven economy. Consumers want to know what you stand for. They want to know what are your pillars. And do you live those out or are they just pretty words on your website? That was one of the reasons, and I'll bring it up again, that I went back into network marketing and I chose the company that I chose because of their pillars. Courage, integrity, impact. That's me. In a bubble.
I take massive action. I want to make impact. I want to impact all these women's lives that I can help. Integrity. I'm not doing anything that makes my stomach turn anymore. I've done it. I've done it over and over and over. My integrity has been questioned before, and I hate that. So for me, if it doesn't feel right, it's gone. Like, I am at a point in my life, if it doesn't serve me or my children, out the door, like, finished, right? And I have integrity that I will be bold, I will be direct, and I will be upfront because I don't want to hide anything. I don't want anyone to question my integrity, and courageous. It took a lot of courage for me to leave my 9-to-5 and start from zero. But you know what? It's paying off. And all of those things resonated with me. So what are your brand's values? Do you know them? If you don't know them, that's the first step, is you need to go figure them out. What is your brand's mission? What do you personally care about? What's important to you? What causes you to care? What do what issues, problems, injustices are you solving for people? So there's no wrong answer to any of these questions. It's just, how do you articulate these values to people? You've got to nail them down so you can move on to the next step. And number 3 is share consistently. This is something that a lot of you struggle with, and I struggled with until I went full force, full time into my business, or was ready to go full time into my business. And I was like, you know what? I got to get this going, and I got to be consistent. And I had sticky notes and alarms and Alexa, and like, my life's a hot mess express. My children do decorate my office, by the way. Look back here. We're under construction right now. We're going to just say that. We're under construction in this office. And if you're on my podcast, you can't see it. But my kids decorate my office. There's drawings everywhere. And that is to remind me that I have got to be consistent. I've got to be consistent. There are days where I question everything. Am I doing this right? Am I doing this right? But I've got to have these demonstrations for me to keep me consistent. What are demonstrations that you need to keep you consistent? Like I said, sticky notes, reminders, alarms. Alexa goes off all the time. She's probably going to start talking any second now, to remind me. Like, there was a time where I wasn't consistent in my stories. I knew I was missing a huge opportunity there by not sharing parts of my day in my stories. So I had an alarm set for every hour to go off to remind me to post whatever was in front of me. Isn't that crazy? But it kept me consistent. I had an alarm that would go off in the morning to remind me to post that day on my feed. Just post. Now, I do recommend you take time to like batch your posts, think them through, have a strategy, but being consistent is the first step. Okay. So share your personal story behind your values, let people know what you stand for, but be consistent about doing it. Because if you're not sharing what you have to offer, people don't know you have anything to offer. So then you can't be upset when they don't purchase because they don't even know you're in business, right? You've got to open those doors on your social media. Every single day, you've got to be open for business. And I see a lot of people take the weekends off, and that I am totally fine with like family time. But if you are someone who's like, you know what, I don't want to be on social media on the weekends, then set something up in place to where your presence is still active on social media on the weekends. Or let your audience know that's your jam. Chick-fil-A lets everyone know they're closed on Sunday. You cannot expect to go get a chicken sandwich on Sunday. No one can be upset when they roll up and they're like, oh, I forgot they're closed on Sunday, because they let you know up front. Let your audience know. I take Sundays off for my family. You will not be able to reach me or see me on Sundays. Be transparent, be open, build that know, like, and trust factor. So I hope you got value out of today's episode. Please take a screenshot. Post it in your stories wherever you're watching this. Tag me. I will share to my audience. That's one of the biggest ways to get audience growth, is to get in front of other people's audiences. Okay. Also, if you're not already in our Facebook community, Socially Awesome Entrepreneurs, I highly recommend you do that. The link is in the show notes below. We do weekly tips, tricks, and trainings in there for you. And I would love to have you as a member in there. So until next time, make it simple, make it social, and make it awesome. Thanks, guys.
Hey, thank you so much for listening to today's episode. I'm Alyece Smith, your host, and let me tell you how you can get a free social media audit from me. Make sure that your profile is optimized and you're ready to build. Take a screenshot of you listening to this episode, throw it in your stories and tag me. You can find my handle in the show notes. I will share it to my entire audience. and you will be entered to win one of the 5 free audits that I'll be doing every single month. Number 2, if you found any value out of this episode or any of my episodes at all, please feel free to leave a review. It is the best compliment you can give. Lastly, make sure you check out the link to get into my free community, Socially Awesome Entrepreneurs. It's in the show notes. We go live in there weekly with guest trainings and more. Until next time, make it simple, make it social, and make it awesome.